Israelis and Palestinians in Gaza are spending a fourth night being bombarded by rockets and missiles as Israeli Defense Forces and Hamas militants continue fighting.
Jerusalem, located in Israel, is considered a holy city for Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, leading to competing claims and tensions over control and access to religious sites. Recently, the Jewish community has decided to go ahead with the building of the third temple, which has been challenged for years. Will the Muslim community permit the rebuilding of the sacred Temple Mount? What steps are being taken currently, and what is the update as of today? Join us as we uncover what just happened in Israel that has stunned the whole world. Since its establishment in 1987, the Temple Institute has actively pursued the cause of rebuilding the Third Temple in Jerusalem. Over the years, this organization has conducted extensive research and meticulously recreated the sacred vessels and instruments required for temple service, including the golden menorah and the high priest's breastplate, faithfully adhering to the specific requirements outlined in religious texts. Now, while the nation of Israel is in the midst of a terrifying war, the Institute has presented compelling reasons for initiating the construction and has even suggested that the current conflict could propel the long-awaited realization of God's temple. Keep watching to find out what just happened in Israel that has stunned the whole world. Israel, officially known as the State of Israel, is a captivating country located in the heart of the Middle East. Bordered by Lebanon to the north, Syria to the northeast, Jordan to the east, Egypt to the southwest, and the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Israel boasts a diverse landscape that ranges from a lengthy coastal plain to highlands in the north and central regions. Throughout its storied past, Israel has been a sacred home to a multitude of civilizations and empires. The land of Canaan, which encompasses present-day Israel, has seen the rise and fall of powerful forces such as the Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans. Unlike their neighbors who worshipped an extensive pantheon of deities, the Israelites worshipped only one God. While grandiose monuments of brick and stone were erected by their neighbors, Israel's glory lay in words. The Hebrew Bible, also known as the Tanakh, would change the world in a way a golden statue never could. It inspired the minds and souls of billions, gripping and shaking their hearts to this very day. The Tanakh consists of the first 5 books called the Torah. It recounts the story of Abraham, who was called by God to leave his home in Ur and journey to the promised land of Canaan, which was to be inherited by him and his descendants forever. This divinely sanctioned real estate deal was repeated to Abraham's son Isaac and his grandson Jacob, who was later renamed Israel. Jacob had 12 sons, and their families became the 12 tribes of Israel. After centuries of servitude in Egypt, they were delivered by Moses, who led them to the edge of the promised land, Canaan. Subsequently, Joshua, Moses' successor, conquered Canaan. The biblical books continue to describe Israel's ongoing conflicts and disputes with the surrounding peoples, with the most troublesome adversaries being the Philistines. The Philistines are commonly believed to have been part of the marauding sea peoples who troubled the eastern Mediterranean during the end of the Bronze Age. Around 1000 BCE, the 12 tribes of Israel were united under the leadership of King Saul, marking the period known as the United Monarchy. After King Saul came the remarkable King David. David's story, as recounted in the books of Samuel and Chronicles, is one of military success and territorial expansion. One of his most celebrated feats was the conquest of a city called Jerusalem, which became the capital. Under David's son Solomon, the kingdom of Israel reached its zenith in terms of wealth, power, and magnificence. Solomon built the legendary temple where the Israelites worshipped and offered sacrifices to God according to the laws of Moses. The temple also housed the Ark of the Covenant, a golden chest containing the 10 Commandments. Solomon himself was renowned for his wisdom and continued the transformative era of his father with Jerusalem as the capital. Jerusalem holds profound significance for 3 major world religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Its ancient streets are steeped in the religious beliefs, historical narratives, and spiritual aspirations of these faiths. For Judaism, Jerusalem stands as the most sacred city and the eternal capital of the Jewish people. Its importance goes beyond its numerous mentions in the Hebrew Bible. Jerusalem is intrinsically linked to the first and second temples, which held paramount importance in Jewish worship. These temples served as sacred spaces where God's presence was believed to reside. The Western Wall, a symbolic remnant of the Second Temple, holds immense religious significance for Jews worldwide. It is a place of prayer and pilgrimage, connecting believers to the rich history of Jewish worship. Furthermore, Jerusalem is revered as the location where Abraham's offering of Isaac to God took place, a testament to unwavering devotion and sacrifice. Christianity too considers Jerusalem a hallowed city due to its association with Jesus Christ. The life of Jesus was intertwined with Jerusalem as it witnessed pivotal events such as his crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, widely regarded as the site of Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection, stands as a testament to these significant events. Other revered Christian locations in Jerusalem include the Via Dolorosa, believed to be the path Jesus walked while carrying the cross, the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed before his arrest, and the Mount of Olives, from which he is said to have ascended to heaven. These holy sites make Jerusalem an essential destination for Christian pilgrims, holding deep spiritual meaning for followers of the faith. Islam also holds Jerusalem in high regard, particularly the site known as Al-Haram al-Sharif, or the Noble Sanctuary. This sacred location encompasses two prominent landmarks, the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. According to Islamic tradition, the Dome of the Rock marks the spot from which the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during the night journey. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, located within the Noble Sanctuary, is considered the third holiest mosque in Islam, following the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca and the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. These revered sites in Jerusalem hold immense religious significance for Muslims worldwide. While Jerusalem is undeniably a city of immense religious and historical importance for these three faiths, it has also been a place of ongoing religious and political tensions. The complex and intertwined nature of religious heritage and modern-day realities is evident in Jerusalem. Jews, for example, have faced difficulties finding a place for worship since the destruction of the First and Second Temples. Worship at temples and synagogues has been a central part of Jewish tradition, leading to the proposal to build the Third Temple as a successor to the previous ones and in fulfillment of prophecy. However, the realization of this proposal has proven to be much more challenging than initially envisioned. The complexities surrounding Jerusalem highlight the delicate balance between religious beliefs, historical significance, and the realities of the modern world. The city serves as a reminder that the pursuit of peace, understanding, and coexistence requires careful navigation of the multifaceted dynamics at play. Jerusalem remains a place where faith, history, and aspirations converge, inviting ongoing dialogue and efforts to find common ground among different religious and cultural perspectives. Why is the Third Temple such a big deal to the Jews? The construction of the Third Temple is a big deal for the Jewish community, as its temple is deeply rooted in history, spirituality, and the core beliefs of the Jewish faith. In ancient Jerusalem, the First and Second Temples were more than just architectural marvels. They were the heart of Jewish worship and the dwelling place of the divine. According to Jewish tradition and scripture, the First and Second Temples were constructed in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. These temples served as the central place of worship and the dwelling place of God's presence on earth. However, both temples were destroyed. The first temple by the Babylonians in 586 BCE and the second temple by the Romans in 70 CE. Since then, the absence of the temple has been a central theme in Jewish collective memory and longing. For Jews, the rebuilding of the Third Temple represents the restoration of their spiritual center and the re-establishment of their ancient religious practices. It is seen as a vital step towards the Messianic era, a time of peace, justice, and the ultimate redemption of the Jewish people. The Third Temple is believed to be the site where God's presence will dwell once again, renewing the divine connection with humanity. Central to Jewish belief is the notion that the temple houses the Shekinah, the earthly manifestation of God's presence. In the innermost chamber, the Holy of Holies, this divine connection was palpable. Rebuilding the Third Temple is a spiritual aspiration, a yearning to rekindle the intimate relationship between God and the Jewish people, allowing them to bask in the divine presence once more. The significance of the Third Temple is intricately tied to the arrival of the Messiah, a pivotal figure in Jewish theology. According to tradition, the Messiah will restore the temple and usher in an era of unparalleled peace. The reconstruction of the temple is a vital step toward fulfilling these messianic prophecies, signifying hope, redemption, and the ultimate reunion between God and humanity. The Bible addressed the issues of the Temple Mount and the rebuilding of the temple. One of the most notable prophecies regarding the Temple Mount comes from the book of Ezekiel. In Ezekiel 40:48, the prophet envisions a detailed description of a future temple and its surrounding area. He describes the dimensions, layout, and various rituals that will take place within this magnificent structure. In Ezekiel 43:7, God declares, "Son of man, this is the place of my throne and the place for the soles of my feet. This is where I will live among the Israelites forever." Another compelling prophecy can be found in the book of Daniel. In Daniel 9:27 it is written, "He will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering. And at the temple, he will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him." This verse has been interpreted by some as pointing to the construction of a future temple, as it mentions the cessation of sacrifices and the presence of an abomination in the temple. Moreover, the book of Zechariah also addresses the restoration of the Temple Mount. Zechariah 1:16 states, "Therefore, this is what the Lord says, I will return to Jerusalem with mercy, and there my house will be rebuilt, and the measuring line will be stretched out over Jerusalem." This verse conveys God's promise to rebuild his house in Jerusalem, indicating the restoration of the Temple Mount. There is more. The New Testament also addresses the issues of Temple Mount. In Matthew 24:15, Jesus speaks of the abomination that causes desolation mentioned in Daniel's prophecy. This verse suggests that the temple will play a significant role in the eschatological events preceding Christ's return. These biblical prophecies surrounding the Temple Mount have captivated the imagination of believers for centuries. The anticipation of its rebuilding and restoration continues to inspire faith and hope among those who long for the fulfillment of these divine promises. Beyond its spiritual dimensions, the temple held immense cultural and religious value. It was the epicenter of Jewish worship, the site where sacred rituals and sacrifices took place. Rebuilding the temple signifies the revival of these age-old practices, reinstating the rightful observance of Jewish religious traditions. With the Third Temple, the resumption of the sacrificial system and other temple rituals becomes possible, allowing for the complete expression of Jewish faith. Moreover, the temple stands as a symbol of Jewish identity, a testament to the endurance and resilience of the Jewish people throughout history. Rebuilding it is an affirmation of heritage, traditions, and deeply held values, reinforcing the bond between past, present, and future generations. In essence, the Third Temple represents far more than stones and mortar. It embodies the essence of Jewish spirituality, the promise of redemption, and the eternal connection between God and his chosen people. What were the challenges of holding back the building? And what are the steps now taken to complete the building of the temple? The prospect of constructing a new temple in Israel is a matter of profound significance and complexity, intertwining practical, ideological, and historical dimensions. At its core lies the inescapable fact that the intended location for the Third Temple is none other than the Temple Mount, also known as Haram al-Sharif in Islam. This site is among the most contentious and sacred religious locations globally, and has long been a focal point of both religious devotion and conflict. The Temple Mount is not just any plot of land. It is home to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the holiest sites in Islam, and the iconic Dome of the Rock, an enduring symbol of Jerusalem's rich heritage. Therefore, any attempt to build a new Jewish temple on this sacred ground is virtually guaranteed to ignite fierce opposition, not only from the Muslim world, but also from various quarters concerned with regional stability. The magnitude of this challenge cannot be overstated. It encompasses political, cultural, and religious dimensions, and is deeply rooted in the complex history of the region. It is a challenge that has perplexed scholars, diplomats, and religious leaders for decades. Another formidable challenge, lies within the intricate web of religious beliefs and expectations that surround the construction of the Third Temple. For many devout Jews, the dream of rebuilding the temple holds a place of utmost importance, deeply embedded in religious texts and traditions stretching back millennia. It is seen as the embodiment of biblical prophecies, a symbol of divine favor, and a means of ushering in spiritual redemption. However, even within the Jewish community, consensus remains elusive. Some believe that the task should only be undertaken when the long-awaited Messiah arrives, signaling the appropriate time for the reconstruction. Others advocate for a more immediate and proactive approach. These differing viewpoints underscore the complexities of addressing this profound challenge. Beyond the realm of religious belief lies the realm of practicality. The Temple Mount, in addition to its religious significance, is a highly sensitive political and cultural symbol. While Jews lay claim to the land as their own, Muslims adamantly dispute these assertions. The Dome of the Rock, a revered Muslim site, stands as a testament to the historical and religious Muslim connection to the Temple Mount. The complexities of this situation have historically led to tensions, with Jews often being prohibited from visiting the complex for extended periods. Yet, it's essential to note that recent archaeological findings have provided evidence of Jewish ritual cleansing sites in the vicinity, lending credence to Jewish claims over the site. The discoveries have triggered the reformation of the Sanhedrin, a Jewish religious council re-established in 2004. The Sanhedrin has embarked on a mission to take practical steps toward the rebuilding of the Third Temple. These steps encompass a broad range of activities. The Sanhedrin has ventured into cultivating farms and forests aimed at recreating the ancient environmental conditions, recognizing the significance of plants in temple rituals. The meticulous care of the environment is pivotal, but it also raises debates surrounding the authority of the Sanhedrin and concerns about the environmental impact and ecosystem balance. Furthermore, the production of a red heifer, crucial for purification rituals, presents a significant challenge. Red heifers are extinct, but innovative approaches are being explored. Methods to engineer a pure heifer using red Angus as a base are in the works. Rabbi Chaim Richmond and Reverend Clyde Lott have employed animal husbandry concepts to produce a red heifer, meticulously adhering to specific breeding rules. Currently, 5 red heifers are housed in an undisclosed location in Israel, kept until they reach the appropriate age for use in the ceremony. Rabbi Shoch Mamod suggests that the red heifer ceremony needs to be performed on the Mount of Olives, overlooking the place where the temple once stood. He anticipates that this ceremony could potentially take place around Passover 2024 or Shavuot 2024, provided the cows reach the required age. Security is yet another intricate layer of complexity. The Temple Mount has witnessed countless acts of violence and conflict over the years. Any construction project on this site would require a robust security apparatus to maintain order and deter potential clashes. The need for such security measures, while understandable, can further exacerbate tensions and contribute to a sense of instability. Protecting the archaeological treasures buried beneath the surface of the Temple Mount also poses a complex challenge. Layers of history span millennia, with archaeological artifacts and remnants dating back to various periods, including the era of the Second Temple. Any construction project would need to balance religious aspirations with the imperatives of scientific inquiry, preserving and documenting these invaluable historical treasures. The international community's role in this matter cannot be overlooked. The status of Jerusalem, including the Temple Mount, has long been a contentious issue in international diplomacy. Numerous resolutions and agreements, such as the Oslo Accords, have sought to address the status of Jerusalem and its holy sites. Any unilateral action to build a new temple could have far-reaching implications for regional stability and international relations, making it a challenge that goes beyond the borders of Israel and the immediate stakeholders. Beyond international diplomacy, the broader geopolitical context looms large. Israel's relationships with neighboring countries, particularly its Arab neighbors, are sensitive and delicate. The construction of the Third Temple could have far-reaching consequences for these relationships, potentially impacting regional peace efforts and alliances. Extremist groups are another factor that cannot be ignored. Various religious and ideological movements may seek to exploit the construction of the Third Temple for their own agendas, potentially escalating tensions and violence in the region. The global community must closely monitor and address these complex geopolitical challenges. Moreover, ethical and moral considerations add another layer of complexity to the construction of the Third Temple. It is essential to respect the rights and aspirations of all individuals and communities involved, striving to find a path forward that acknowledges the diversity of beliefs and values in this deeply contested space. Balancing these intricate facets is no small feat, and it calls for a nuanced and sensitive approach that recognizes the profound significance of the endeavor. Thanks for watching another episode of Beyond Discovery. While you're still here, click on the other videos you see on your screen right now.